Congressman-elect Allen West today had a one-day toy drive that benefited the United States Marine Corps' Toys for Tots program. The event was a success in that it raised over 800 toys for needy children in and around South Florida. West later then answered questions from reporters regarding the Don't Ask, Don't Tell issue and the extension of the Bush tax cuts.
I would like to say that these are the toys that we are going to donate to you for the Toys for Tots program. And we will always be here for the Toys for Tots program and for the children that you support. And continue on, Semper Fidelis, Hoorah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
The Senate is voting on the DREAM Act. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the most important thing that we need to do is focus on American children. And, before we start offering things to individuals that are here illegally, you got to secure your borders, you got to enforce your laws, because the second, third order effects, the cost that could come down for this country and also for the people here in Florida, where we already have a huge problem with illegal immigration, that should not be the focus right now.
And any comments on the Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
Well, I think I've made myself pretty clear on that, because the mission of the United States military is not to accommodate behaviors, but the individuals up there, obviously they see it a different way, and they want to appease special interest advocacy groups, but sooner or later down the road, you guys will be coming back to me, and I won't tell you that I told you so.
Would you support a repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell moving forward?
Well, I think that if I sit there on the Armed Services Committee and a lot of the friends that I have that are still serving come to me and ask me to do something of that nature, I'll bring that up.
What did you think of the the deal on the Bush tax cut?
Well, the most important thing is that come 1 January, the American people will not see a huge tax increase. But I think that instead of extending unemployment benefits for a year, I would rather have seen unemployment benefits extended through the winter. But then come springtime, we have an aggressive jobs program that spurs on private sector growth. I think that one of the things we need to look at is now we need to cut the corporate and business tax rate as well, so that they can get to spurring on job growth.
So if you had been in Congress now, would you have voted for it?
I would have voted for it, because it's kind of like in football, you're on first down and you get 5 or 6 yards, that's okay.
You said a lot about the first 90 to 120 days being important.
It's so critical.
What do you hope to see happen?
Well, I think one of the big things is, how do we get job growth in the private sector? How do we start to, right now we don't even have any real budget. We're talking about a continuing resolution, so we have to start working toward that budget. One of the key things for me is the 10 soldiers that are in prison out of Fort Leavenworth. I want to have an investigation into that, because one of them that I know for sure, there was exculpatory evidence that was withheld in his case, which probably would have not resulted in him having 15 years out there. We got to look at the rules of engagement. We're talking about pulling out of Afghanistan in July 2011, so I think that we really have to do a threat-based analysis and not just look in the near term, but let's start thinking about 5 to 10 years out. But it really does come back to getting the size and scope of government under control and government spending, and that's why the first 90 to 120 days is so critical.
Any backlash from any of the conservative, not so much conservative, but the establishment Republicans regarding your letter to Eric Cantor?
No, I haven't heard any. And this is the thing, we need to go up there to work. And I think that the people here, when I came back from that issue seminar, when that calendar came out and some people saw it, they asked me about it and they brought those concerns to me. And so it was only right, in being a representative, that I brought up the concerns of the people and my concerns, because it cannot be the status quo. The desperation and the criticality of these times are going to call for greater exertions from us all. We're asking the people down here in America to tighten their belts and to work harder and do all of these different things, but we have to do the same, because leadership is about setting an example.
I was off this week. What was your letter to Cantor about the schedule?
Yeah, it is. We're only working in session 123 days for an entire calendar year, and it's so funny that you bring that up, because there was a person that was here today that came up to me and said they had done the calculations, and basically we're making $165 an hour, and that's pretty good for an old soldier. But if I'm making that type of compensation on the backs of the American taxpayers, I need to work a little harder.
So if they don't extend the calendar, you think there should be a pay cut?
Well, that's, I don't think that I'm working as hard as I could. Let me put that way.
Now, their argument, if I recall, though, they were saying they want to give members more time to go back to their district and stuff. Is that what their rationale?
Well, I think that the members, I think that the constituents have sent us up there to do a lot of the tough work on the issues that they're bringing to us and the decisions that need to be made in Washington, D.C. One of the things that we're going to do at the end of every month, we're going to have town hall meetings. So we'll have the opportunity to get in front of the people. But I think that, as I just said, that first 90 and 120 days, I think we need to have a little bit more emphasis on being together up there in Washington, D.C., to have those oversight hearings, to be in session, to have the right proper type of votes. And then, those final few days of the month, we come back down here, we present ourselves in front of the people, and we let them know what we did in that past month. But I think initially we've got to spend a little bit more time up there in Washington, D.C. And if you can peel some time back later, that's fine. But 10 days of session in January, 8 days of session in February. The perception is something that, the people look at that. When you see Congress already only has about a 13, 14% approval rating, the perception is terrible.